Hey y'all, Leah Lordar, mega church cult survivor here. I was in a mega church cult under Heward Mills for 18 years. These churches go by First Love, Mustard Seed, Pleasant Surprises, Christ Cathedral, and there's many denominations all around the world. Anyway, I've come on YouTube because basically I'm the cult girl, okay? That's my little name. And I've been on TikTok and I've been creating waves over there exposing not only my cult, but other church cults that I've got on my radar like Caris, RPF, NGRM, to name a few. I've just come on here to vent. Honestly, I really have. Like, I don't even, my videos are really raw and unedited. First Love Church is a cult. I want to unequivocally say that. I have had hundreds of survivors. It could be going up to 1,000 now, seriously, but there's been thousands online from various different church cults that have been, talking about their abuses that they've experienced in their church cult. And this includes financial abuse. This includes psychological abuse. Women are getting raped in the church. Women are getting sexually assaulted by pastors and leaders and those in trusted positions. And it has to end. It has to stop. Heward Mills has been lying since 1986 when he started his medical degree. That man is such a liar. All he does is lie. When I first started the church cult, this man said he doesn't know who he's going to give the church cult to. He was saying he doesn't know who it's going to be. It's God's house. It was like this man was not about money. He weren't even preaching about money. Everything was about God being sold out for Jesus Christ. I got swept in because my boyfriend at the time had just been killed in police custody. So I was extremely vulnerable. And there's a reoccurring pattern and theme where young, vulnerable people are getting indoctrinated and coerced into joining these church cults. So anyway, everything has just changed. Like he was literally telling us, oh, the church is God. He doesn't know who's going to give it to. Then as soon as Joshua Heward Mills, who started paying an interest in the ministry, and Joshua Heward Mills has been sleeping with women historically in the church cult. There are women who have nearly lost their damn mind because of Joshua Heward Mills, yeah? As soon as he realized that with that little Heward Mills title, he got fame, he got whatever, that's when he started doing up fake ministry. But we all know Joshua Heward Mills from Nottingham University when he was studying law, and he used to be in London and he used to be in Apache. That's the headquarters branch, heavily. I know Joshua from when he was about 16, 17, and he was an absolute gallist in these mega church cult streets. He used his name, he used his fame, he used the elitism that came with being Heward Mills' son to sleep with women in the church cult. There was one that he was in a full-blown relationship with that we all knew about, and Bishop Richard, i.e. of First Love Church, was preaching from the pulpit saying that the girl is like the church bicycle because she was sleeping with Joshua. Okay? There was another girl that was sleeping with Joshua. Why did Joshua get transferred to Ghana? He was supposed to be the pastor of First Love in the UK. He actually started the university campuses. So why did Joshua get transferred to Ghana? That's what I would like to know. Because was it a similar situation to Apostle Daniel from First Love in Aston? Because he was sleeping with all the girls in that church. There's actually a video on YouTube. If you type in First Love is a cult, you'll see Consola come up, and she was his talented solo artiste. That's what they call them there, TSA. And she was sleeping with her pastor. So whilst Prophet Daniel's wife, Jennifer, was on the first row with him whilst he was preaching, his TSA, who was sitting directly behind him, he was also doing a little ting with. So this is the kind of stuff that happens. What did they do when the girl come forward to talk about being essayed by her pastor? They told her that she was the problem. She was the strange woman. She went through an interrogation process, and this is the same thing that keeps happening. There was another woman who was raped by a high-ranking pastor in the church cult, and when she went to Bishop Richard he said that she could be, when a man of God has a moment of weakness, you can be like a wall, permeable that he can get through, or impermeable, a wall that he can't get through. The common great apologist term that they use in the cult is that it's a woman's fault. If there's any intimacy that happens whatsoever, it's the woman's fault. And that's where we see the black and white thinking within the cult. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's like consent. There's the black and white thinking. There's no areas for them to explore other things. And also the pastors have zero knowledge. So for lack of knowledge, our people perish. So Heward Mills, the cult leader, he last did his medical degree in 1986/7. Medicine has advanced, Dag. First Lovers, Mustard Seeders, Pleasant, stop letting him lie to you, child. Because I'm probably more versed in medicine than Heward Mills, you know them ones. Because the last time my man did something to do with medicine. That was years ago. Listen, if me and Dag are on a plane and someone needs medical assistance, neither me nor Dag, Heward Mills, can save said individual, okay? Because the last time he was practicing, it was in the 80s. That was a very long time ago. So he uses, and what you'll find with cult leaders is they have grandiose ideologies of themselves. So my cult leader uses the medical profession, because that is a trusted position. So he says it a lot. He says it a lot. And also anyone in First Love, Mustard Seed, Pleasant Surprises, they will be studying either medicine or an allied health professional course like nursing, therapist, social worker, etc. And then you'll get finance and law. And that is because Dag says that you should study the subjects of the ages. So all of the parents that are in there that are first generation, that's what we call them, first generation cult members. Then when they have kids, they become second generation. Then when their kids, it becomes third generation. And then it's just a cycle. That's how they grow the churches. Similar to how Catholicism has grown. That was the route that my cult leader wanted to do up. So, you know, there's just a lot of corruption that is going on in these mega church cults. I want everybody to stay safe out here. But I'm going to be doing more content on YouTube, because I need everybody to know that this First Love, they've also got Flow Church on here, where they do up 5 a.m. prayers. And what they'll be doing is harassing people, calling their phone when they don't want to join the prayer, and people will feel coerced and forced to join the prayer. I want to let you know that a lot of these people that are doing up the 5 a.m. prayer and whatever, these are university students, these are college students who are working part-time jobs, and then they're slaving themselves out in the cult because the cult requires inordinate amounts of your time. I used to be in the cult from 8 a.m. in the morning until 3 a.m. the next morning. I was my pastor's personal chauffeur. I used to be sent on errands, and I will be, once I figure out how to post all the receipts behind me as I'm speaking, I will be doing that up as well. My lady pastor, she had a shopping addiction, because when you're in these high control groups, you need like a coping mechanism, and hers was shopping addiction. They've all got addictions in there. Some of the pastors are just predators. Do you know what I mean? A lot of them in there are just intimate addicts, sex addicts. That's all they're doing up in there. But this pastor, she was had an addiction to shopping. So she used to send me to Zara, to H&M, to various different places, and I would leave, guys, no word of a lie, I'd have the bags, yeah, and the bags would be like, the clothes would be falling through, the shoes would be falling through the paper bags. There were so many bags, to the point where she was getting called in meetings to talk about her shopping addiction. But everybody in there's messed up. Do you know what I mean? Everybody in there's messed up. That's why you see, like in a church cult, when these scandals break out, you're like, oh, it's shocking. Not only because they're pastors, but it's the level of scandal that's going on in the churches. People who are in the so-called world, who are evil, who are serving the devil and out here raving and clubbing. Babes, their scandals are not half as bad as these mega church pastors. So what we need to be doing up in 2024 is waking up. We need to be waking up, because there is so much lies going on. They've lied to us. All these pastors want to do is steal your money. They gaslight you. So I was indoctrinated to believe it's okay if the pastor has a private jet, because he needs to be able to get to these countries in half the time to spread his ultimate truth and his knowledge, his knowledge of Jesus Christ and the Lord, which we don't have. Is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. People are walking around with the brain of a 5-year-old or younger. My kids, my 7-year-old and my 10-year-old has more sense, has more common sense than grown women and men in the mega church cult. And that's what they do. They take away all critical thinking, analysis, the ability to make decisions and choices for yourself. I've done a little piece on TikTok, and if you're not following me on TikTok, please do. My name is the same across all social media platforms. It's Leah Lauder. Consistency, baby. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I've coined a lot of different spiritual models and theories, and I'm going to start sharing them on YouTube. But what I will talk about is this concept that I've coined, which is called spiritual anesthesia. Because when you go under anesthetic, it's like you're cut off, your brain is cut off, right? And you go into like this subconscious state. And similarly, they do that in a spiritual way. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Where we're so open, we're just walking around like mindless dogs, because it's like they indoctrinate you to have loyalty to the highest authority. So it's like you're under a spiritual anesthesia where you're doing like mind altering practices. And I'm not saying that prayer is bad. I'm not saying that speaking in tongues is bad. I speak in tongues. I still pray. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But it's when it becomes excessive. It's when they're expecting you to be there for 6 hours, 7 hours, and you don't want to go. Everybody's got free will, babe. God is not forceful. These mega church pastors are so forceful. And because they think the fruits of the Spirit is attending church, going on evangelism and outreach. Listen, I did a social experiment test the other day, where I went out into the streets of London, made up a random church name like Christ Candlelit Cathedral International, because they always have to have an international, a candlelight or whatever in the name. That's another red flag to know if these fake churches are fake, yeah? And I just went there, created a fake name, and I was just outreaching, inviting people to church. And I could have made the people give their life as well. And do you know that these people actually said they were going to come to the church? That's how dangerous it is. So is that what fruits are? Going outside and love bombing people, doing up gaslighting, and using charm. Charm is deceitful above all else. Who can know it? So I believe. That's all you lot are out there doing. That's what your pastors have taught you to be, a bunch of swindlers and spiritual prostitutes. That's what you're doing. You've exchanged shotting rocks to shotting Jesus on the roadside, Cur Lads. You've gone from shotting yourself in clubs to shotting Jesus Christ on the roadside. That's all you've done, baby girl. And half of the women in there are sleeping with all the men in the church anyway. So some of you trolls are on here trolling and commenting and saying, you was in the church for the wrong reasons. Oh, okay. Should I have been like the main praise and worship leader from Apache and been sleeping with different men in the church cult? Should I have been doing up orgies in Toulouse camp when Bishop died? Because babes, no man in the whole of UD can say he laid a finger on me, sweetheart. So what you need to be doing is going back to Bishop Richard Aye, asking him about his own daughters, his own kids, and the praise and worship leaders in the cult. That's what you need to be doing up, girl. Because all the people who were faithfully serving, were the pillars of the house, had been there for 18 years like myself, 20 years, 30 years. They're not there anymore, babe. You lot have got a bunch of kids. You got a bunch of kids in there. People who haven't been in there for that long. You don't even know if they're going to stand the test of time. Ooh, did you see what I did? I know the doctrine, babe. Yeah, I served faithfully in that church cult. And I was a spiritual daughter of the house. And that is absolutely impossible to achieve. And I achieved it, and it still wasn't enough. All that these cults want to do is break you down. Period, point blank. Period, point blank. And that's all they did. They just continually broke me down. I gave well in excess of £50,000. I don't even know. If you ask me, Leah, how much did you give that church cult? I cannot tell you. My kids would have been totally messed up. Do you know how many children in there have like neurological like side effects and disorders from being in them high control environments? It's absolutely devastating. So guys, I really, really want you to be aware that there is like a spiritual epidemic at the moment, a bit like the pandemic. I'm going to urge you to stay in your house and pray. Okay, get a personal relationship with God. Well, like, I'm working on this. We need to get legislation changed. There needs to be a lot that happens so that these church environments can be safe. Because at the moment, anyone can get up one day, say they've heard a vision from the Lord, go and start a church cult, rent a hall anywhere and start talking absolute human fecal matter to you every single Sunday, to the point where they're controlling your life. And some of these men of God are just straight up evil and wicked. They have pasts where they've been putting their hands on their baby mothers, like Anya Kapower from NGRM, where you've got false prophets. And let's talk about it a little bit, because you see this prophetic utterance that's come, because with these mega church cults, because we had this move in like the 1900s with the Azusa Street revival movement, etc. And it's just spawned completely out of control now, where you've got little kids. I've seen little girls on TikTok doing up prophetess, and they've got subscription fees and they're offering one-to-one coaching. What can you offer, please? That they're just on there talking absolute rubbish, and they've got so many followers. So this is the problem. This is why I think that we've got such a problem in the mega church now, because we've got so many false prophets that have infiltrated the faith, unfortunately. And it talks about it in the Bible that many prophets will come in my name and say, Lord, Lord, but Jesus will say, I don't know you. So these are the times that we're living in. So all of you trolls that are come, instead of you being indoctrinated, take your head out of Bishop Dag's books and actually read your Bible, because then you will find that he is in fact one of the false prophets that Jesus Christ actually came to teach about. I also want to talk about Jesus Christ and his ministry being a movement. It was not he wasn't taking people to a physical church. It was a movement where he was teaching people how to have a personal relationship with God. He came to challenge the evil systems and social constructs of the time, which was in the form of temples and rabbis, etc. In today's day and age, it would be similarly to what I'm doing, calling out the church cults. It's absolutely no different. Nothing's changed, baby. Nothing's changed. That's why Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore, because he knew what was going to go down for such a time as this. So I'm like Jesus Christ, actually. spreading the movement. Jesus Christ is a humanitarian. That's why no matter what you believe, whether you believe he's the Son of God, whether you believe whatever, we know that Jesus Christ walked the earth and we know that he was a humanitarian. And even if we say he wasn't the Son of God, whatever you believe, just for the fact that my man went to go and give his life for the sake of others and he had that mindset, that in itself, you should look at him like, wow, there has been no greater love than a man lay down his life for his friends. And that is who Jesus Christ is. No matter what you believe, whatever, he is a humanitarian. He advocated for the rights of women. He could have been unalived, walking with the likes of Mary Magdalene and, you know, different women that were a part of his ministry. And he all did it to prove a point. It was his actions. That's why a lot of the time when the disciples were asking him things, he said, who do you say that I am? He kept putting the question back to them. Why do you think he did that? You know, Jesus spoke in parables. The truth and the revelation of what he spoke is hidden in the parables, in the word of God. But these fake pastors, they lack understanding. Everything is materialistic. Everything is about money. So they understand the scriptures in an external way. They don't go within. So everything is to do with materialism. That's why they, like, for example, tithing is in the Bible, yes, but it's not biblical. Because that was for the Levite priests. And I think because they were Levites, they weren't entitled to a certain money or whatever. You need to go and check it. So that's why they used to say to give them, do you understand, that money? That was the purpose, for the context, for the time, for the day. It is no longer, it has absolutely no relevance to today's time or the time of Jesus. He came to break a lot of those things, guys, because these evil men were flourishing and they were profiting off God. That's why when he was flipping tables in the marketplace, like I'm flipping tables, same as Jesus. They've turned these mega church spaces into a marketplace. They don't care about people. They care about bums on seats and targets because it's all about money. And they will gaslight you into thinking it's not about money. But if you don't have money, you can't be in that church in a certain way. You got to buy uniform. Yeah, they'll buy people, or they might offer people a little bit of uniform. Yeah, because they're charging people triple for the uniform. They can do that. I used to go with my pastor's wife to the outlets in Kent. We used to get dresses for £3, £5. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And sell them to people for £30 and that. So you can give a person a little dress here and there, but they still end up paying it back when they get money anyway. That's just how it goes. So the church is a business. They are businesses. It is a pyramid scheme. They have franchises like McDonald's, like KFC all around the world. And they're actually, like I say that, they package Jesus like a cheap McDonald's KFC meal. That's how they package Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And they sell it to people. That's why they're out there creating these fake Christian traditional models, telling us that, because you can't tell if someone's a Christian or if they believe in God. It's only God that can see the state of the heart. We can't see inside of the heart. So instead they make it like you've got to be a modest Christian. Okay, so if I come and I wear my big hat and my crew neck or my polo neck with my glasses and I come and I start preaching, is that okay? But I'm getting my back blown out though by the praise and worship leader, but I'm here looking like a Mormon. So does that make me okay? Now I'm a Christian because I attend every service and I attend every prayer meeting. I could have a secret boyfriend somewhere. I could actually be sleeping with someone's husband in the church, but because I'm doing that praise, like a lot of women were, listen, praise and worship leaders were sleeping with keyboardists in Apache. People were, the instrumentalists were being predators. And don't let me mention your name. Come on my comments, George and Co. Come on my comments and you will see I will expose all of you on YouTube, babes. On YouTube, on YouTube. Because there's a lot of trolls coming on here talking absolute smack and you lot know who the hell I am outside in these streets because you lot were the ones sleeping with each other, doing all the sins that don't allow you to get into heaven. That's what you lot were doing up. Let's not talk about same-sex abuse that's going on in the cult. I'm going to get to that. There's so much, it's such a mess. And then they come on here trolling. Why? Because I'm speaking the truth. If I've experienced that and I've seen it and so many other people have and we're all on TikTok, because I'm on TikTok, that's where I am. But because the community guidelines are so sensitive, I've got to move over to YouTube now. So y'all got me over here. I will be going live. I'm going to start going live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So just keep your notifications on. And if you come across this video, know I will be going live every Wednesday from 8 p.m. And I'm going to be exposing all these church cults, but especially First Love, Mustard Seed Chapel International. I'll also be exposing MGRM, RPF and Caris on the radar. And I just want everybody to know, I hope you've liked the content, guys. I have such limited technology. So I just have to shoot this from beginning to end. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please stay strong. My survivors, it's not easy and I don't want to break down. It's so hard when you come out of these high control environments to just keep your mind. because the battle is in the mind. But remember, it's mind over matter. Please do your grounding, do your meditation, your prayer, whatever it is, connect with nature, ground yourself, get peace. Because, you know, when something's unbalanced, it's an abomination. That's why no matter where you look, balance, yin and yang, do you know what I mean? Whatever, it's universal, it's everywhere. And we need it. It's essential in our lives to keep, you know, like for body, mind and soul, to keep a sound mind. So thank you all for watching. My name's Leah Lauder, mega church cult survivor of 18 years. And I hope you've enjoyed the content. There'll be a lot more from me. So please subscribe. Make sure you subscribe if you've watched this video to the end. Like, subscribe, share. Your girl is on YouTube. So I will be seeing y'all very shortly or whatever. Ooh.